Hey you. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. Are you looking for the cheapest, most bang for your buck car to haul your family?
Uy, low down payment.
Is it supposed to be reliable? As reliable as a taxi cab? Is it supposed to haul? Do you need it to haul stuff for your online business? What about parts? Do you need the parts to be cheap and everywhere? Like the squid balls ni Manong sa tabi-tabi? Well, here it is. The car for you. The Toyota Avanza. Cue the taxi music.
This is the mix of DJ Ruel.
Toyota has always been known with partnering up with other companies to create certain cars. There's Subaru with the BRZ and the 86. There's BMW with the Toyota GR Supra. But as early as 2003, Toyota has been conniving with Daihatsu to make a car for the third world market. The goal was to make a really affordable car that was as practical as possible, but made as cheaply as possible as well. Fast forward to 2021, and here we are. Yep, we got a Toyota Avanza. And today we're gonna take you a tour of this Toyota Avanza first gen 1.5G that we got. We're gonna show you everything about it. So let's go. Let's start with the fact that this is an 8-seater MPV, which means that you can haul pretty much all of your family members in here. It's tall and narrow, good for the tight streets of Pasay. The door panels are thin to maximize interior space.
It's hanky-panky time.
The interior is beige, which gives the cabin this light and positive vibe.
Mukhang taxi.
The seats are comfy and plush.
Good for holding your ass for hours.
You got the climate control for the front, and you also got climate control at the back. Okay, for all the car companies here in the Philippines, I hope you guys are listening. Because no matter what crap you release, as long as there's aircon at the back, people will buy it. In fact, another car company actually used the single aircon vent at the back as a big marketing tool to promote a certain car that I have no positive comment on, except for said aircon vent at the back. Interior space is pretty much the most important aspect of this car because you got a lot of it. The second row seats are comfortable and spacious, even the third row seats. So, how's the third row seat?
Surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good?
Surprisingly good. Surprisingly good.
The third row seats are also removable if you need more space for luggage. Sadly though, that's pretty much where the pros end. So for one, let's talk about plastic. And what I mean plastic, cheap plastic. It's everywhere. The whole dash is made out of cheap plastic. Mind you, no creaks though. The steering wheel is made out of this synthetic plastic or whatever. If your hands are sweaty, it's Slip City.
Slippery when wet.
You also got a very bland looking gauge cluster that can generously go up to 180 kilometers per hour. Vroom vroom in my Avanza pare. The door handles don't help either. It's so thin and so shoddy. Look at this thing. Looks like I'm gonna break it. That's cheap AF pare. Cup holders. You barely get any. You don't have one for the passenger side and you only get this weird one here on the driver's side that cannot even fit a 1-liter bottle. Instead, you only have one decent cup holder here at the back of the handbrake. That's it. That's all you get. It's also pretty strange how it smells like the 90s in here. It smells like burnt leather and plastic. The materials they use is probably from the 90s. This side, I have no comment for this side. The way the third row folds is the worst among I've seen. I mean, look at that. it turns into a wall. The third row seats are easily removable though, and when you do, it's hanky-panky time! The Toyota Avanza. The official car of your Tito comes from the province with his entire family who ends up drinking all the beers and sings touch by touch the entire night in your Christmas party, disturbing the neighbors all throughout the night. Touch by touch, you're my all-time lover, Fun fact, well, I'm pretty sure you know this already. The Toyota Avanza is actually a rebadged Daihatsu Xenia, and the Chinese market also had their own version called the Xenia M80. Funnily enough though, the Daihatsu Xenia also came out with a 3-cylinder 1.0 engine that puts about 56 horsepower and 90 Newton meters of torque. Now imagine hauling your family in that. When you're buying an Avanza, you don't buy it for the looks. No siree. No, you certainly don't buy it for the look. It doesn't command any road presence, not designed to look interesting, and it definitely won't turn heads. People would usually put this crappy chrome bits on the Avanza to make it look a little bit flashy or different. It doesn't work. No. Looking good is not the Avanza's priority. The small 15-inch wheels with 4x114 stud pattern says so. They give you Toyota badging everywhere, so you can feel like you bought a real Toyota. Sucker. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get it out there. This is one of the ugliest cars to come out of the early 2000s. It's thin, tall, ugly, and it got awkward angles everywhere. Also, don't expect safety on the Toyota Avanza because look how soft need Titan gel pare the shell is. I can literally push it. But see, it was meant to be that way. It was functional. Either way, nothing spectacular was happening in 2003. It's narrow, so you can fit anywhere, even in the tightest streets of Binondo, Manila. No garage, no problem. Ride height is saks lang. Tall enough to be ready for anything, but not too tall. Good for senior citizens. The windows are straight and big, so you can see everything. The G variant also gets a rear spoiler. Sorry, peasants don't get one. No, this car is for the hard worker. I work hard and I don't play hard. The Toyota Avanza, the automotive equivalent of the friend zone. You need it by your side, but not enough to be seen with it.
Feel the power of unlimited sound mobile.
Adding more to the list of the craptastic features of the first-gen Avanza, we now add this. The unadjustable steering... what do you call this? You can't adjust the steering wheel. Well, that sucks. The next one is a real pain though. There's no door handle for the rear hatch, which means you gotta go to the front to the driver's seat and look for the trunk release. That's right, a trunk release to open the rear hatch. That's nice. Speaking of necessities, now we go to my favorite part, engine and maintenance. So what do we got here? We got a 3SVE inline-4 1.5 liter engine. Power output is about 107 horsepower and around 148 Newton meters of torque sent to the rear wheel. It's enough. It's enough. It's also mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission. Mind you, it's a torque converter, not a CVT, which is good because they actually expect that this car will be used for hauling. Timing chain instead of a belt, so maintenance is way easier. Is it fast? No. Based from my own testing, it reaches 100 kilometers per hour in... Yes. But the Avanza was never made to be fast. It was supposed to be an economy car. It's fuel efficient. Right? Meh, you could say that the Toyota Avanza is pretty fuel efficient, but for me, I'm not that impressed. 8 kilometers per liter in the city, and on a bad day, I get 6. 6. On a Toyota Avanza. That's pretty bad. So we also went to a long drive recently to San Pablo, Laguna. That's around 150-kilometer road trip. That's provincial driving mixed with highway. We got 10.5 kilometers per liter. Not that great. The thing about this Avanza is that we got it secondhand.
And that's how we found out the hard way about how easy it is to maintain this car.
So we got this Avanza secondhand, and the engine was in a pretty rough state. The former owner really liked to keep it clean though, but forgot about maintenance completely. Here's some chrome trims and shoppy accessories. Just stop looking for oil, please. Yep, all the fluids were bad and she was running like crap. Luckily though, in true Toyota fashion, it was easy to get this car back on track. All it took was knowing the right parts, knowing the right stores, and most of all, money.
Lots of money.
And lucky for me, I'm a bit of a car enthusiast and an ultimate cheapo. What? I'm not gonna spoon feed you guys where I got these parts. Of course, I spent so much time looking for these. Why should I tell you? I'm just kidding. Parts for these are everywhere. Go to Banawe QC, go to Evangelista, wherever. Parts for the Toyota Avanza is as common as, well, 7-Eleven. And they're hella cheap too. I mean like dirt cheap. Especially comparing it to Mitsubishi's. I know. I have one. So when you're buying an Avanza secondhand, what should you watch out for? Well, for one, definitely if the owner has taken care of it maintenance-wise. Keep it lubricated, pare. I'm talking if he replaces the fluids on time. And in our case, well, yeah, we got a bad one. The second is the fuel pump. I heard that there's a fuel pump recall on these things, so just watch out for that one. Either way, this Toyota Avanza has proven to be reliable despite the fact that it was not maintained at all. But I guess that's the point of the Toyota Avanza, isn't it? Solid front disc with the front bearings integrated in them. Parts are really designed to be taken out and easily replaced. It's practical, gaggy. The Toyota Avanza, the official car for the family dad who likes buying car accessories from Shopee or Lazada. Driving the Toyota Avanza, well, everything's in the right place naman. I have nothing bad to say about driving it. You sit pretty high, everything's at the right place, everything's in reach, and it feels pretty light to drive. The steering wheel is light, it's automatic, so you just put it in D and off you go. The brakes are not the best, but it can really stop, no problem. This is definitely a good beginner's car because once you shift it in D, it doesn't like jerk or it doesn't give you all that torque. No. It goes slowly and smoothly. And the fact that the car is so slow, you don't have to like worry na, oh, I'm going too fast. No. I'm going at ample speeds, you know? I'm going at 20, 25, 30. And it's not like intimidating to drive at all. The dimensions of these things is so easy to get used to because the car is so thin and the front end is so small. It kind of feels like a van almost, making this car so easy to drive and park anywhere in the city. You guys wouldn't believe it, but this is actually my relax car. Because the other car sitting in the garage is my Lancer GT. Well, that's like the project car, you know, the money pit. It's got 17s, it's fragile suspension, and the parts are expensive. But this one, this one lets me listen to my music. And not care how the road feels like. Okay, you just can't get that feeling from cars these days. You can't get that feeling of carelessness anymore from cars. Plow through Osmeña Highway, plow through EDSA, and you're like, the music sounds great today. Yeah. Don't need to care about, oh, that's a deep ditch. Oh well. Lol. So what if this car handles like crap and body roll is excessive even on the lightest of corners? But this car was never meant to be a performer anyway. I mean, look at it. Does that look like a performance car to you? It was meant to haul your family, haul all your crap, go around the city, sipping as less fuel as possible and as practical as possible. Yeah, go ahead and buy your money pits and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you still need one of these. A reliable beater, guaranteed to start every time. A car that can do it all.
the Toyota Avanza.
Asan yung karaoke machine? May touch by yan? Sige, tara. May Christmas party pa tayo.